Something big is happening in Guyana, and I'm here to show you what's going down.
This is Chariot News Network. I'm Ian Harris, reporting live from the Guyana Marriott, Georgetown. So I'm here with Dr. VishnuDoerga, one of the key organizers for a very key business conference here in Guyana, which is the Guyana International Business Conference. Dr. Doerga, welcome to Chariot News Network. It's a pleasure to have you here on our program. Could you begin by just giving us your vision of this project?
Yeah, so Guyana is going through a massive transformation. We have now experienced about 5 years of growth. We continue to see that more and more economic development is taking place. It's driven by the oil and gas industry, but you can also see that all the other sectors are also making significant progress. 12% by the last measurements that were done on our GDP. So with that being said, we took a look at what does the business community really need in order to benefit from and accelerate this growth. We know that both in Guyana and Suriname, a lot of the local business people have a track record. They may have facilities, they have staff. Some of them have access to capital, maybe not in the volumes that they're looking for. But what was missing, and some of the things that were missing were like the new industries that are coming about, the automation that's needed, the intellectual property as well, that a lot of this innovation comes with, and then access to much larger sums of capital. We've also seen in the last 4 years that with a very small population, it's getting harder and harder to find the skills that we need in every single sector. So we also need highly skilled people from other countries who want to come and invest here and work here. So by taking part in several conferences, both in Guyana and in Suriname and also in the US, we came to realize that when we put business people together and we have them talk to each other, talk to the government agencies, talk to the development banks, that's where the real magic happens. That's where they can put one and one together and figure out how they can move any ideas to reality. We, at that point, 6 months ago, we didn't have our own event. We were just attending other events and looking at, okay, how do we do the best for our members, the best for both countries? And the idea came about, well, what if we had our own event that we have full control over, that we can deliver to the business community what they're really seeking? A lot of design went behind this, a lot of partnerships. The Suriname Guyana Chamber, of which I'm the chair, partnering up with the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association to co-host the event. The Guyana Office for Investment, the Suriname Investment Trade Agency partnered up to support us from the government perspective, and nearly 30 business support organizations came on board. Many media houses, including yourselves, for which we are very thankful, came on board to give us that push. And then we got sponsors that allowed us to be able to cover all the expenses for the event. And the feedback thus far has been amazing. People are telling us this is exactly what they've been waiting for. A very unique event that allows them to make the connections that are needed in an atmosphere that really gives them the information, but also ensuring that the right level of business people are here, the right level of government agency representatives are here, and the right level of international representation is here. So we're happy to see a vision that started almost a year ago come to fruition today.
Dr. Doerga, that is an amazing story. You said the feedback has been amazing. For me, the feedback in terms of being amazing is somewhat of an understatement, because I'm feeling the energy here on the floor from interacting with many of the delegates and all the stakeholders. It's an electrifying effect. Tell me something about day one, what transpired in day one. Certainly it was a pepper pot of merging of persons coming from as far as French Guyana, Suriname, Curacao, Guyana, all in this one pot, eating one dish. That is the business of making money, doing business. So day one, take me through from day one into day two, and what has transpired, some of the success stories.
Yeah, from day one, of course, we started off with registration and straight into the B2B meetings. We were thinking, if we get a couple hundred business-to-business meetings, we would be happy. And from day one at 2 o'clock, we had people filling the B2B room. We had set up 10 meeting tables that could be accessed via the app. So in the app, any individual delegate could see the other 600 delegates that are participating and could select to either have a conversation with them via the app or schedule a meeting for which a table and a time would be assigned. So it was amazing to see from 2 p.m. yesterday, meetings happening in that room constantly. We actually had to take a decision last night to increase the tables from 10 to 16. And even the 16 today, as I was looking into the room, were constantly filled. So I think that was goal number one for us already in motion, having those connections being made. That was followed by the opening ceremony, where our main sponsor for the event is the Who's Who in Guyana Business Directory. We had the unveiling of the 2025 edition. That's now the 6th edition of the Who's Who in Guyana Business Directory, a very valuable business resource in Guyana and across the world. We had welcome remarks, of course, from the co-host, the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association, really encouraging for a vision for manufacturing for Guyana, which it's really the path that Guyana needs to go down. Of course, we then follow that up with the development banks in the region, the IBC, the World Bank, the Caribbean Development Bank, to really let us know what is available on the broader scale, and not just for big projects, also for private investors who are seeking funds from the IBC Invest Arm, for example. For the first time ever, we had a panel of 6 ambassadors from the US, UK, the EU, Canada, Suriname, and Trinidad, all on one panel, providing their vision and their inputs as well of what they believe the relationship between their countries and Guyana could be and what the synergies could be. So that was absolutely amazing. And then all of that was topped off by a fantastic presentation by His Excellency the President, where he wowed the audience by asking them to provide him with the questions that they would like to be answered. And we provided that opportunity to, we had 300 plus international delegates, so we had about 15 questions coming from them. And then he methodically went through every single answer, and everybody, it was a highlight. Many people said, hey, that's fantastic, that's already really cool. And then we closed it off with a networking cocktail that went on to almost midnight, where many connections were made, where a lot of business was done that we look forward to seeing those results in the coming weeks and months. That was followed, of course, today by day 2, and in day 2 we had the focus on manufacturing, starting off with what does it take to set up a business in Guyana from a public agency perspective, but also a private agency perspective. We dealt with agriculture, we dealt with energy, and then we took a look at how do we power manufacturing in Guyana. We are now at the cusp of a second cocktail this evening, provided by one of our sponsors, BB Energy, and very nicely as well, in an Indian wedding, when there's a marriage between 2 people, of tassa drumming.
Correct.
So this event is hosted by the Suriname Guyana Chamber, and we see it as a marriage between both countries. So of course we'll have tassa drumming this evening.
Excellent. And dancing.
And dancing, of course. I know that we have a lot of volunteers for that.
Yeah. So quickly, expectations at the end of this conference. I know next year, February 4 to 6, there's another similar activity in Suriname. What are your expectations?
Our expectations are for this conference that we really have a high number of business connections made, deals signed. We've already heard some announcements, new insurance companies being launched, new education partnerships. So we're expecting more and more of those announcements. We expect that the 300 plus international delegates that have come to Guyana really get edified with what the opportunities are, and they plan out how they will enter Guyana, who they will partner with, how much they will invest. So that will be a fantastic outcome. And then of course we switch over to IBC Suriname, as you said, February 4th to 6th at the Chamber of Commerce Convention Center, where we have almost 30,000 square feet of space to really elevate what we've been able to do here in Guyana when we go to Suriname. And then, of course, we're very excited that tomorrow I'll give you a sneak peek. But next year's IBC for Guyana, which will be the 3rd edition by then, will be held from October 14th to 16th. And we've already heard from folks that this is what they want, and they continue. They've provided a lot of good feedback, but they've also told us, hey, if we could do this, if we could do that. So we already have a wish list building up that the business community wants, and of course we'll do what we can to make those wishes a reality.
Dr. Doerga, you're an extremely busy guy. Thanks once again for your time and inputs. Looking forward to doing much more business with you.
Thank you very much, and always remember, to everyone watching out there, never be busy, always be productive. If you ever find yourself feeling like you're busy, stop for a moment and just ask yourself, is what I'm doing getting me the result? If not, stop immediately. Only put your time into things that give you results. Then You'll never be busy, you'll always be productive.
Well said, Dr.
Thank you.
Doerga. Thanks.
Very good. I have to throw in a coaching lesson in there.